Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA podcast. Well, I got to stick e-commerce podcast in there as well. Anyways, in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to make Amazon worth your while in 2022. This is going to be a real interesting podcast. I don't think a lot of people are going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking a few strategies as well as a few automated systems. We're going to be talking about a core set of systems to win on Amazon, how to minimize risk, and how just to get it right in 2022. So welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
All right, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about how to make Amazon worth your while in 2022. And we got a couple of extra little bonus things we're going to be talking about towards the end of the podcast. Our guest spent 10 years in corporate America, working long hours, moving up the corporate ladder. After getting tired of the grind, he quit his job and got into Amazon. He recently sold his brand for a nice chunk of change, and now he's focused on building more brands while helping other sellers scale their business using innovative Google Sheet-based tools. We're going to be welcoming first-time Brett Bercaw just shortly, but first, let's have a word from our sponsor. As you know, at Lunch with Norm, bigger is always better. Bigger business, bigger profits, and yes, bigger lunches. Z wants to make sure that your business and profits are bigger by taking you and your business international. They are a one-stop importer of record shop, including compliance and logistics services. They focus on all the elements involved in a smooth first-time custom clearance so that you can focus on what you're good at, selling. Click on the screen now or follow the link in the description box below and get 50% off your first shipment today. Okay, where is the man, the myth, the boy wonder?
Hello, happy Monday. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. How about you? How was Toronto on the weekend?
It was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. The weather is coming along. We did have a little bit of snow, but I think it's looking good for the summer. It's coming. I can feel
Snow
it.
in April. Love it.
But I do want to give a quick shout out to our listeners, Rad and Manny, joining us. Also, if you're watching, just say hello in the comment sections. We'd love to know where you're watching from, how your business is doing. So let us know in the comment sections. Also, if you're new to the podcast, you can head over to our Facebook group, the Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and e-commerce podcast. That's where all the good stuff happens. Highly recommend you check it out. So that's the Facebook group. Also, if you're watching on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button. It's that big red button below. Click on that, and then also click on that bell so you get all the notifications. And we do have a giveaway. We actually have
we have a
giveaways.
Really good giveaway today. 2 giveaways, right?
Yeah, we have 2 giveaways today. So stick around for that. It's going to be good. And I'm really excited about this episode. I think this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be able to
I'm
use.
just going to keep interrupting you until you let me talk, because that's what I like to do.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But anyways, this giveaway today is something that I would love, so not only are we going to have the 2 giveaways, but I am sure the people who are listening and seeing what this sort of bonus area towards the end of the podcast is going to be, talking about these Google Sheets and how to use them. They're probably going to just jump over to the site as well, because it's just so useful and you'll save just a ton of time. But today's topic is a little bit different. We're going to be talking about surviving in 2022, just a few things that you can do differently. So, Kelsey, do you have any more things I can interrupt you on? Just wondering. Kelsey's not listening to me anymore.
Sorry, my speakers have just completely changed up, but we're back on track. Sorry.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
So I just want to give a quick shout out to some of our other listeners joining us. We have Jessica Rabbit. We have, I'm going to guess this is Tony from Mississauga. And
Hey, Tony, Mr. Sagar.
someone in the hospital beds in Scotland. So I'll have to check in and who this is, Facebook user. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, but anyways, it's going to be a great episode and looking forward to it. Sending all the love from the Beard Nation over to you in Scotland, and happy Monday, Beardos. Hello, Simon.
Hey, Mr. Simon. All right. So if you know of people who are having a hard time or just eating up time or not being able to get to the next level, this is the episode to listen to. We've got some really good tips. I can't wait to talk to Brett and get going here. So if you have any comments or questions, we're going to have to probably moderate this, Kelsey, because I think there's going to be a ton of questions. But anyways, just put them over in the comment section. Sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy this episode. Welcome. Where are you, Brett?
Hey, Norm.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Now, I got to ask, I'm sure I missed out on something in your intro. Is there anything else you want me to cover?
No. Just how am I doing with the red beard? Am I doing all right?
That's, if you let it grow a year or two, that'll give you that Viking-ish look.
Yeah. This is just a couple days. So.
Oh wow, yeah. This is too. But anyway, we got a really great topic today. So I think we're going to split it into two areas because I do want to get later on in the podcast into these Google Sheets.
Cool.
But let's talk about just getting it right in 2022. So, what can you do? What are Amazon sellers doing or not doing?
Yeah, so my background, I've recently sold a brand and focused on kind of the tool side right now, but I am actively trying to get back into the game. And just kind of the nature of my business, I do get to see quite a few sellers and what's working well. So, 2022, you have to obviously start with the right product. I think you've got to spend a lot of time making sure your differentiation is right. There's a lot of risk. I learned kind of through my first iteration of going through Amazon. So you got to decide, are you, how much risk are you willing to take on right at first, and just understanding the cash flow, understanding the ROI on your product, getting all those numbers right. I see a lot of people jumping into that and they just don't fully understand, ad spend, tacos, return rates, and a lot of important things there that it's easy just to say, oh, I've started an Amazon business and I'm launching my first product, but it's really easy to kind of get in over your head if you don't have your ducks in a row to get started. But
yeah, I fell for that the first time getting into Amazon. I misunderstood the fee structure, and I got hit with something because it was a lower priced product. It was under $10.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, and the product was selling. I was selling quite well, but because of the $465 I had to pay in Amazon fees after the cost of goods, I was making nothing. Yeah. So it was a learning experience before I started bundling. But the other thing was this add to cart.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, somebody had to have $24 in merchandise before they could buy my product.
Yeah.
They couldn't just go and buy my product. And I tell you, not knowing the beast hurt. And that was paying my Amazon tax. But so for 2022, you were talking about, product opportunity. So what are you looking for when you're looking for a product this year?
So I'm definitely looking to disrupt, the niche when you get in there. You're not looking to just play alongside a bunch of others. So you want to really use, Etsy, other sites that are, good at coming up with unique ideas, spotting trends, stuff that's maybe not on Amazon in full capacity right yet. I'm a big data nerd, as you know, and harnessing that information as much as you can in combination with, I think, unique offers and just trying to really make the best offer, which has always been the case, but now it's just more important, especially with the other main variable is PPC costs are just going up. So you've got to understand that landscape before you jump into it, because you could very easily be spending $3 cost per clicks and really not even know that that's going to happen until you get into it.
So, $20 cost per clicks
or $3 cost per click.
Yeah, no.
You're saying
I've seen a product.
I got you.
And somebody, like a client of mine, was paying huge dollars, and they were just eating up their budget in a few clicks.
Yeah, see, what I did with my first brand is I researched that really well, and I got into those niches that, it's 25 to 45 cents on average, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot less risk then. And, you launch multiple products and have success on those, and it's a lot easier to kind of stomach when you have a production run go bad or something gets lost in, shipping or something like that. So that's kind of my approach, is at least getting started in Amazon, is try to understand the risk and try to mitigate it as much as you can, because the more times you can play, the better shot you have at being successful.
So what are your, when you're looking at product opportunity or product selection, what are the few bits of criteria that you're looking for?
Yeah, I think especially as ad costs go up, you've got to be as many products as you can, 25, 30, get higher. I launched quite a few in the 15 to 20. Where I think that's, it's definitely doable, especially if you're in a good niche where the CPCs aren't as high, especially because you can use ASIN targeting and kind of cross promote multiple products, defensive targeting. I'm big on that. But going forward, I think kind of the $25 to $30 price point is pretty strong, as far as, again, hedging some of that risk to where you've got some room to work with. Usually you can get pretty decent COGS to make those numbers work. ROI, I'm always trying to hit, 200 plus, and just really understanding kind of what your game plan is going into it. Though you want to tacos, last year it was, 10 to 12, I'd say. I'm seeing 15 to 20 now in a lot of the accounts that I, get the privilege of looking at. So
yeah, we had a person on, Neil Twa, last Friday, and he was saying that one of his criteria is that if you can't get at least a $12 return, he's not looking at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair to say. And a lot of Amazon sellers right now are going out and looking for that higher dollar, price, the $40, $50, even $100.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense when you have to compete with the PPC costs or going outside of Amazon now and driving external traffic over to it.
Yep.
Although there is the referral program, which gives you a little bit of money back.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of torn right now. I'm looking at a few opportunities in my next brand, and I'm not sure to go the 100+ route or try to stick to the price point of kind of the more impulsive buy. So I may do a little bit of both and just test it.
Now you touched on it just a little bit earlier. You said capital. When you're looking at capital to get into the game right now, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, that's again where you have to really understand your numbers and kind of what price point you're going in at and how many units you're going to need to stay in stock. That's really critical. I've seen a lot of successful launches in some of the people using some of my tools, and they'll have an awesome launch and then just go out of stock, only to find it really hard to kind of get back into it and get the rankings back up. So kind of planning out that first few reorders is critical. But for me, I mean, any product that I would go into, you're needing at least probably $5 to $10,000, I would say, is a reasonable starting point. Now, with that being said, the brand I first ran with, I think my first order was only $1,000. So it was 300 units that I air freighted over, and I could still economically do that. So there's light products out there, but you're looking at like the $14 price point range, that they're super light, super small, the lowest kind of the shipping tier. So now if you're just looking to get into the game and you want to try to really minimize that risk and learn the process, I don't think that's a terrible idea. I mean, there's still niches out there that you can get into and do that. So if you don't have enough money, I would rather do that than not be in the game. Let's put it that way.
Right. Now, when you're testing out products or for your first product, are you still going over to China? Are you looking at different countries? Are you looking US based?
Yeah, I've only done China up to this point, but for my next brand, I am hoping to do kind of a US product. My background's in manufacturing and engineering, so I'm looking at like big metal products and got a lot of contacts and networks here in the States that deals with that stuff. So like I said, I'm trying to maybe take a product over the $100, $200 price point range, and then, the more like $40 to $50 price point range is kind of take a two-stab approach on my next one. But
are you still Amazon centric, or are you looking for omni channels?
Yeah, I'm 100% Amazon, to be honest with you. I
Mhm.
just think it's time best spent. I'm big on kind of maximizing where your best bang for your buck is, and that's what I've had most success with.
I'm a little bit different there.
Hmm.
I just protecting my butt. I
Oh
guess
yeah,
I've just seen so
100%,
many clients that
100%.
stupid things have happened
Yeah,
for no reason at all.
yeah,
And as long as you have, either the Shopify or Walmart or Chewy or whatever,
yeah,
you've got some income coming in.
yeah. No, I got a pretty bad black hat attack there towards the end of my deal, and it was rough. So I fully appreciate what you're saying.
Oh, we've got a bunch of listeners right now, and I want to ask them their price point. If you're launching, if you're new to the game or you're in the game, what are you looking at? What's your ideal price point and why? So if you can just throw that in there. Plus, if you have any questions, we're going to be here for the next 45 minutes talking about just what to do in 2022. So just throw it over into the comments section. All right, so we've talked about capital. I still like that 2 to 3 times cost of goods.
Mm,
That's kind of where I'm at right
yeah,
now. And to test a product, there's a lot of, let's just go into this. I mean, you've said a lot over these last few minutes, and one of them was getting that product over here, and I think you were talking about Me Too products. You're an
mm,
innovator
mm,
to not go out there just with a Me Too product.
mm,
But I'm going to say something. I'm going to go back on what I usually say. But if you want to test the Amazon game, if you've gone over to Freedom Ticket, and taken that course, and that's the free course when you sign up with Helium 10, it's a great course. You start to learn a little bit about Amazon. Why not give it a shot? Because you have to pay your Amazon tax. I used to say, jump in both feet, take a course, spend a few bucks and get onto Amazon.
mm.
I'm kind of changing that around and saying, look, if you want to understand Amazon, get ready to lose money. Okay, so but get it right. Just go in, spend a little money. And this is all I'm still talking about this is your education.
Yeah,
Launch a product,
yep,
see how it goes, and then take the time and the effort from that. Pick up your butt off the ground because you're going to be paying a lot of Amazon tax. And then you can move over to an innovative
mm.
product. I would not say that in 2021. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it's a lot more valuable to be in the game, learning how to navigate the system. It seems like it's changing by the week. So if you can stay kind of on the pulse of what's going on, you're going to have that much better chance of success. And I know that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm getting right back
Right.
into it. So I want to stay immersed in it and stay learning. And I enjoy it, though. I mean, it's a big passion of mine. It's a big video game.
Yeah, just going back to what I was talking about at the beginning, we launched and we had a successful launch,
Hmm.
but we had a price point that was terrible. So we had to rethink it. We came up with bundles. And now my partner, I don't know if you know Afalabi Orocon, but we've just relaunched a bunch of my brands
Hmm.
and we're just in the process of rebranding a lot of what we've done, plus bringing on some partners.
Cool.
And it's going to be interesting because it's still a lower dollar price point,
Yep.
but we're bundling, we're adding add-ons onto it.
Yep.
And we know that, everybody needs what I sell.
Cool.
So it's just going to be a different way of doing it. And that's another thing, 2022, bundling, added value, add different things to your product listing
Hmm.
that your competition doesn't have, and also competitive analysis. So let's talk about competitive analysis and also bringing out different products.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you've got some competitors in a niche you're looking to go into, that's going to be your kind of bread and butter from a keyword standpoint, from a differentiation standpoint, really understanding the competitive landscape. I think, again, I touched on it briefly before, but the cost per clicks on PPC, I've seen it time and time again. It's what will bite you in the butt if you haven't got into that before and know the importance of running effectable, profitable. I mean, they don't have to be honestly profitable at first. You can learn over time, but you have to be running ads in 2022 to be anybody. I mean, you'll just fall to the back if you're not getting your product viewed. It's, there's been tactics in the past that have worked, and it's kind of, they come and they go, and it'll probably keep going that way. But one thing's here to stay, and that's Amazon advertising. So there's a big difference between a 50-cent cost per click and a $20, like you were saying, Norm. So
what are you doing now with PPC? What's your strategy?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of kind of the Pareto principle, 80-20, focusing on what's really working well, understanding trends. Not a big fan of the whole AI, fully automated type systems. I'm, again, a big data guy, so I have a system that I kind of built from the ground up when I was operating my brand using bulk sheets. And it's pretty much a tool that you just download your bulk sheet whenever you want to optimize your bids, run it through the system, and it's got some different options that you can deploy depending on what your goals are. And it's built for segmentation. You can run it multiple different ways, but 3 to 5 new campaigns a week I've found is, for the most part, across 80 to 90% of the accounts I see, is a good way to kind of keep your economics in check. If you do that in combination with optimizing your bids, reducing wasted ad spend, especially in like research campaigns that you could be, getting search terms that just aren't relevant for your product. So, just trying to systematically move your keyword rankings in the right direction. That's a huge goal of PPC. And then I'm a big fan of profitable PPC campaigns as well. So I've got some tactics there that I like to deploy. But yeah, so, that's.
If you're finding that you're running in a certain range, I'm just going to throw this out there, like 30%, and you want to stick within that 30% ACOS, do you ever risk that and try to explore or go for further research, like broaden or the breadth of your keyword research?
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably the thing that I see 99% of sellers don't do that they should, is keep continuously launching new campaigns each week while at the same time working to minimize all the wasted ad spend. I mean, that's how you're gradually going to keep getting better, because you're going to iteratively rank for more keywords, the more ones that you kind of go out and test. But you're not going to do it if you just launch a bunch of campaigns right at the beginning and just leave them for the end of time. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I love asking this to anybody running PPC, but what are you running? Are you running your automatic? Are you broad, phrase, exact, and why?
Yeah, I run them all. I mean, to start out with, for the first month, I won't run anything but exact and ASIN targeting. And that's just on really highly relevant keywords that I've really strategically, researched and looked at competitive analysis, looked at what I'm most relevant for. After that, I'll start to look at, your broad phrase, autos. I do really well with autos.
Autos are doing great right now.
Yeah. Yep. That's about the only one I'll actually run multiple SKUs in a match type, is with autos. Everything else is all single SKU campaigns. Big fan of single keyword campaigns on exact match as well, for kind of your heavy hitters. And again, just the 80-20 rule, really focusing on what's working well and launching more of what's doing well, doing less of what's not doing well. I'm a pretty simple guy.
When they're not doing well, can you define that? What is not doing well, and do you get rid of them? Do you just throw it over to negative, or do you cancel the campaign?
Yeah, so the way my system's set up is it's all math, right? I mean, the poor performers are going to be getting bid value set less and less over time. Yeah, there's some tools you can kind of quickly filter for your poor performers and pause them if you want. I'm a big fan of negating anything in like your research campaigns that show up for bad click-through rate, high spend, high clicks without orders. So there's some filters there. You can quickly kind of bulk negate those. And big systems guy, so just kind of deploying those systems each week, consistency over time, keep creating new campaigns, keep testing them out, trying to optimize the kind of process of doing that to where you're actually able to tell what the heck you're doing each week, I think is important. And one trend I see a lot, and I get the fortunate to see a lot of accounts, is there's always somebody that if they've got a really good account going, there's always somebody that's kind of staying on the pulse of what's going on. They're not just setting things up and letting them run rampant. And I think a lot of the lessons that I watch and hear about, it's not quite like that. They're saying that you can just kind of set up a program and let it run and it should be all good, but it's not always, fortunately, like that.
So with all the PPC and sponsored brands, sponsored products, everything that's going on right now, what is your best converting campaign?
It's always, for me at least, it was always the most relevant, exact match. That same keyword could be in a broader phrase and doing well as well. So I wouldn't say it's by match type. Typically it will be your top of search exact match, but it's not always the case. I historically had a lot of success with ASIN targeting, and I was real kind of a sniper on which ones I would target. If there's new arrivals, ones that I just had a more superior offer to, I would go out and kind of target those. So there's definitely some hidden gems if you get a good SOP going each week where you're launching campaigns in a structured way to kind of uncover those opportunities. And that's what I like. I like diving into the data and trying to figure out what they are. And the more you can get in that upper 20% that's doing well, that's the quick way to grow your account for sure.
Absolutely. So let's see. We've got two really great giveaways, and we're going to be touching on this right after the sponsor or the commercial. But we're going to be talking about automated systems in Google Sheets, and this is a process that Brett's put together, and we're going to be getting and diving deep into that. But we've got two really great giveaways, and that's a lifetime membership, 2 lifetime memberships to these Google Sheets that you have, this whole system that you have, correct?
Yes.
So it's awesome. Can you expand just a little bit on that?
Yeah. I mean, if you want me to share my screen, I can give you the nickel tour. It'd take me about 5 minutes, but
yeah. Why don't we save that until a little bit later on when we get right into that?
Gotcha.
So yeah. Go ahead.
The lifetime membership, basically all access pass to all the tools, all the training. Adam Runquist, he's been a big help to this business, and he's got a lot of cool training in the back end. So
Adam's an awesome guy.
Oh yeah, helped me out immensely.
Okay, so it's just hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you'll get an extra entry. I'm telling you, how often do you hear me pumping a giveaway like this, guys? So this is something that I think anybody would need, even you, Simon, if you're still listening. So anyways, let's see. Let's get to a commercial now, and we'll come back and we'll start talking about a few other things. A big thank you to our sponsor, Startup Club, the largest club on Clubhouse with over 790,000 members and growing. They're one of the world's largest communities supporting the startup ecosystem, from founders to those wishing to work for a startup and everything in between. You can find them at www.startup.club for blogs, recordings, and a calendar of upcoming shows, and on the Clubhouse app. Just search Startup Club for daily shows 24/7. You can also now listen to their show, the Serial Entrepreneur Club podcast, on Apple and Spotify too. Stop by to connect, learn, and grow together. Okay, just a couple more questions before we move on to the other topics. But with product listings, are you doing anything different in the slide deck, titles, bullets, anything like that?
I would say like drastically different. I'm a big fan of like the first 30 or title. I think that's critical as far, especially when you're launching, getting that section right. I'm actually not afraid to change that out either, which I know a lot of people are pretty cautious about that type of stuff, but I tend to not really believe a lot of people until I test it myself. So I've tested a lot of that stuff and know kind of what, at least for my niche and my products, what moves the needle. And couple, swapping out a few keywords with targeted PPC, and you can, bump the sales velocity up, which creates kind of that pendulum effect and get your products ramped up again. So, I'm big on the launch, not going out of stock, and just getting everything dialed in before you launch too, with your optimized listing and keyword research. So nothing I would say kind of out of the ordinary, but just getting it right as much as possible from the beginning and staying in stock is always the best thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to kill your listing, go out of stock, and then go out of stock again, and go out of stock again.
Done it, man.
You know, I have this story about toe fungus remover, and we got it up to, this is no joke, we got it up to $124,000 a month on toe fungus remover. Okay, and anyways, first went out of stock. We couldn't get it back up to 68,000. We just got it to 68. Went out of stock again. Went out of stock 5 times. That product today, even though it's still got a good listing and everything, I'm not working with the client anymore, but because he kept running out of stock. But it's $2,100 a month.
Yeah, I've seen it multiple times. It's, for me, I had one and I just had to keep eating the cost. I think through like 3 reorders, I made no money, just because you want to stay in stock. It's a lot easier to do that than fall back in the rankings and then play catch up, in my opinion.
And here's a tip. If this does happen, because it legitimate, I mean, sometimes it can happen, especially with, you know, the logistics that's going on right now, or supply chain management, I should say, coming in from China, Amazon losing it. I mean, these things can happen. But if it does, let's say you're out. I had a client out for 6 months during Corona. Well, you just have to go back and start building up your sales history, match your sales history. You might have to do some pretty heavyweight promotions, digital coupons, but as long as you can get some sales activity going again, then you're going to be okay. But if you're not willing, and this is what I told my client, if you're not willing to put whatever you lost back into it, then you're going to have a problem catching up.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen a pretty good strategy here recently across a few sellers that are just doing really well, where they're actually starting out their launch, 10% margin, let's say, or even break even for a period of a few reorders, just to build up that sales velocity and traction. And that's probably what I'm going to go into in my next, brand that I start, to try to just come out guns a-blazing and then work on improving the performance, so you're, and the profitability over time.
People were using rebates, and Amazon, if you're listening, not that I did this, this is just, possibly I knew somebody, but, that's way people got sales velocity, they got ranked. And now what do? Well, there's different ways of doing things. You can drive your external traffic, but one of the big things during a launch, like you said, drop your price, do a major digital coupon showing you're going from a higher tier down to a lower tier. People think they're getting a huge deal, and now you're getting some traffic and some sales velocity. So that's one technique that we've used. But I agree, you got to do something like that, because just beautiful listings just aren't doing it anymore.
I think the main image is critical. That's another thing that people don't switch out and test enough. But if you come in with a really good differentiated product with a really awesome main image, a competitive price that you can kind of work your way up as time goes on, I think that's going to be the staple on my listings going forward, is just making sure I get those few things that the customer sees, especially on a new launch. And I've always just done the exact match top of search placements I had a pretty good mini chat flow that I built up by the time I exited, but it's nice to have a audience, obviously, if you can, to kind of help with driving some external traffic at the same time.
Yeah, influencers are another way that people are using now too. So here's a question to the listeners again. I mean, if you've got some strategy that you were not using before, since rebates are, a no-no, what are you using? What are you doing to get your sales up, especially during launch? Okay, last question before we move on to the Google Sheets. Biggest tips for current sellers struggling with sales. What can they implement right now?
So I just mentioned one of them. It's definitely test your main image.
Right.
I had success with doubling my conversion rate on a few products. Anytime you can do that, you're going to be in good shape. I'd say a good strong insert card to just try to get your reviews is moving on the up and up as you can. That's I think going to be the continue to be an issue for new sellers that are just getting into the game, is learning how to kind of combat that.
Right.
I would say the launch is got to be on point. You've got to, if you're not making sales right now and you've already launched, then you have to make sure you got all your keyword rankings, research done. You can always go back and kind of re-optimize your listing, run targeted PPC, drop your price like we talked about, incrementally bump it back up. Had a lot of success with that. And just, yeah, I mean, you've got to try to get it right from the beginning is kind of the moral of the story, though, and not fall into the place where you're stagnant, because the way the Amazon algorithm works, if they see a lower sales velocity over time, it just gets kind of harder and harder. Run out of stock, it's harder and harder. So, trying to just keep things running smoothly from the get-go and launch is always the golden ticket.
I just saw Simon was put a comment in here that he's using your product right now, and I guess Adam highly recommends it as well.
Cool.
So that's great to see. All right, let's get to that. Let's share the screen. Let's talk about this your website and what it's all about.
All right.
And guys, I do not have an affiliate fee. We came across this, we love it, and we thought we'd share it with you.
Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep.
All right. So basically, there's free tools, and then there's kind of a 30-day trial. Anybody's welcome to sign up. There's a lot of cool training in the background for the free tools as well. But this is kind of the PPC tool that I was talking about. I'll just expand this. Can you see that all right, Norm?
Yep. Perfect.
Cool. Yeah. So Apex, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, but Apex is kind of the higher tier ad platform. It does right now sponsored products and brands with the new kind of bulk format that they just came out with. So you can kind of see over here the process. You download your bulk sheet.
So Brett, yeah, just a quick note that a lot of the listeners come through a podcast, so you might have to do some description.
Gotcha. Okay, let me back up then. So the bulk campaign ads is going to be more of a spreadsheet type format as opposed to a fully automated system. So you're actually downloading a report from your Seller Central anytime you want to optimize your bids, and then you're running it through this Google Sheet. And it's just going to allow you to look at a bunch of different segmentation options if you want to optimize based on SKU, or there's some more detailed overrides you can bid at the campaign level, portfolio level, target level. Just set a lot of different bid inputs, and you can make it as simple or as complex as you want to make it. But when you spit out the file on the other side, it's basically ready to optimize and upload up to Amazon. So we've got a few kind of formula type algorithms built in that are pretty well known best practices, like revenue per click times target A cost. There's one that I've dubbed the Apex formula that's a little bit more involved. It's a little more conservative than the revenue per click times target A cost. There's also Mina Elias. He's got a pretty cool strategy on the iterative mode that we've worked into the system. So I've been working with him some. And then Apex has a lot of other cool tools like search term harvesting, wasted ad spend reduction tools. There's some pretty unique kind of point and click filters for just people that are maybe newer to spreadsheets that get more intimidated. So we've tried to kind of make it really easy to uncover your top targets, like you see there, your top converting rate targets, anything that's doing well, top of search or product pages. There's dupe checkers, poor performer filters, and just it's kind of a point and click type of tool as opposed to a fully automated system, more semi-automated than anything. But some pretty cool analytics reports. This one right here, for those that can see it, is a really easy way to audit kind of what's working well. Anything at the top that's got a lot of colors to it, those are the ones you really don't want to fall off. Then you've got some real kind of fine-tuned details off to the left and right. And then just some simplified kind of match type based tile reports that just give you a kind of a clear indication of what's working well. And then lastly, here's kind of the search term report. This is called the search term inspector tool. So this allows you to kind of cross-reference off of your bulk ops sheet, which has all kind of your campaigns and targets. It bounces off your search term report. So it'll tell you what you're not currently targeting in broad, phrase, exact, ASIN targets and just allow you to quickly sort and filter that, as well as reduce wasted ad spend in bulk with this Flex tool. So this is the bulk campaign builder. So you're basically working with the Flex tool and the Apex tool hand in hand to generate new campaigns each week. The bulk negate tool helps you reduce the wasted ad spend in the research campaigns. So that's a really kind of powerful systematic way to keep growing your account through new targets that you're testing, and also reducing the wasted ad spend through bulk negations. The metrics tracker, this has been the one I've been kind of most recently optimizing and getting up to speed, but it's going to track all your metrics each day. Pretty much anything you'd ever want to know about your Amazon account, it's going to track it on a product level, at the kind of higher level as well. We've just added the new mobile browser sessions, so all that's kind of in there. It uses a unique kind of folder structure too, so you can just download some quick reports off of your Seller Central account, save them right into a Google Drive, hop into Amazon, click a button, and then it's going to update the system for you. So this is becoming kind of a fan favorite. There's another one here that shows how you can expand a section and track notes for each product, like your title, search terms, BSR, price. We've got a feature you can add Helium 10 ASIN ranking reports to track up to like 25 organic keywords over time. So pretty powerful stuff. You got any questions on that, Norm?
No, just looking.
Cool. All right, here's my personal favorite. This is one we've released here in the past 2 weeks. This is the Books accounting tool. So this just basically takes your payment transaction report, which for those who don't know, it's the most accurate piece of data that Amazon's going to give you on kind of your account. So you just download that at whatever frequency you want, import it into a Google Drive folder, and come into the tool and hit sync. And it's going to spit out a really accurate, detailed P&L over the months there, and it'll match to the penny. If you want to download like your summary transaction reports, you can really get a good indication of how your account's performing. You can also, up here in the upper right, click by SKU. So if you've got, say, 10 SKUs, you can buzz down through and click each one, and it's going to filter out the data and just show you the P&L data related to that SKU. You can layer in your OpEx expenses as well in a kind of a manual expense tab if you want to dump in your bank files. They've got kind of a standard format there, but just gives you kind of a one-stop shop for, I was telling you before the call here that the set of tools here, it's really geared kind of toward the 7-figure sprint type of seller. Anybody under 7 figures is really going to like this stuff. Anybody above that, there's probably, a lot of SaaS tools and stuff out there, but my goal is always to try to kind of bootstrap stuff from the get-go, and I like the customizability of them myself.
Right.
So that's what got me into it. But this is Adam's kind of ROI tool we came up with. So it gives you a clear indication of all the stuff we were talking about earlier, like estimated return rate, tacos, if you're running coupons, kind of understanding all of those hidden gotchas before you get into moving forward with the product, and understanding that ROI, total profit is.
So what you're saying is, if I use this sheet, I would not have got into my first product.
You and me both, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of lessons learned there, but good stuff. This one here is not released yet, but this is a very simple, clean kind of inventory management system. It uses your restock report straight out of Amazon. Again, you just dump that into a Google Sheets folder, or a Google Drive folder rather. It's also got a pretty handy carton tracking log if you use a 3PL, so you can track all your different carton sizes and kind of the transfer of those over to Amazon. And then it's going to accumulate everything into one sheet to where you can set some thresholds based on your past sales history. And then it'll let you know when to send stuff in or when to order more stuff from your supplier. So pretty helpful there. And then lastly, we've got Adam's Keyword Dominator tool. He's got a really popular YouTube video that it's actually kind of how I met Adam. He had put that out, and then I kind of showed him what I had built based on that video, and we became friends after that. But you can see some cool stuff. Matt Atkins, I don't know if you're buds with him, but he had some really good success here recently on using Keyword Dominator along with some of the PPC tools we have, and just kicking some major butt. This is kind of what we were talking about before, where you can do the same thing with existing products. It is more difficult. So if you get the launch right from the beginning, using good competitive research analysis, Keyword Dominator is a pretty cool tool. You can pretty much do everything in Helium 10 if you're slick with the filters, but It just allows those that aren't a way to kind of aggregate reports, different keyword. There's a bunch of different keyword research tools out there right now that we're building into Keyword Dominator, a way to kind of dump all of those type of exports into just one folder, click one button, and then it's going to give you a really strong target keyword list. And then you'll be able to optimize your listing. I think I've got, let's see if I won't play this video, but let's see. Yeah, down here at the bottom.
There's the man.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can just see, this shows the, it's a little blurry, but shows the listing wizard. So you're able to bounce back and forth between your target keyword list, optimize your title, search term bullets. And then here's kind of the hidden gem down here. It allows you to, with everything that you haven't ranked for yet, dump it into a list and hit a button, and it optimizes your search terms for you and takes into account all the different permutations that you could gain from looking at across all your bullets, your title. If you're familiar with like the brand analytics search term optimizer, it does a similar concept, but you can't do that right out of the gate if you don't have an active listing. So it does that plus a couple other things kind of hidden in the background that we've proven to work well. So that's kind of the success Matt had that link was, as far as right here is what he did. So you can see he's having a lot of success on kind of this organic ranking right out of the gate. Then this last one is just a more simplified version of Apex that for those that are kind of just getting started into Google Sheets, they can kind of get acclimated. We worked with Elizabeth Green from Jungler. We love her. Worked with her and Adam to kind of build this, and it combines Keyword Dominator with some unique features in PPC Dominator to help you just quickly target different keywords and kind of boost rank systematically. And that's it.
Wow. Well, there we have it. That's great. What a great selection of tools. So let me see. Kelsey, were there any questions about this?
So there were a couple questions, but I think you answered them. There is one. Oh, there's some coming in right now, actually. It's from Simon. With logistics, can it create the FBA shipping orders for you?
So the logistics tool probably has the most room for new features. Right now, it's just kind of a dashboard showing your inventory, some forecasting abilities, and working with like the 3PL, trying to make sure you're staying organized there. Now, the shipping orders is definitely something that in the future we can look at. Not something that it has right now, though, no.
Okay. And by the way, we've got 2 lifetime access to these sheets available for a giveaway today. So it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, or just tag 2 people and you'll be entered. Also, you do know that I'm going to be coming after you, Brett, for a discount for our listeners too at some point, right?
You got it.
All right. Okay, good.
All right. So yeah, actually a ton of questions are now piling in and people are loving it. Sarah says, wow, we have a couple people that have already been using your programs. Andy's been saying he uses it daily.
Nice.
So yeah, let's dive into
Andy, why didn't you tell me about this?
It's hiding it, man.
All right. Let's see, from Chuck. I joined Adam's course. Are these the same tools he uses in his course? Do you know?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, I got to check out Adam's course as well.
You're missing all the fun, man.
Yeah,
Where the party's at.
I got to talk to him.
All right. The next question is from Claudia, a fellow Canadian. I got here late, so sorry if you've already covered this question. If I'm not familiar with spreadsheets and Google Sheets, can you suggest a good place for a beginner like me to learn at a basic level? And I guess, is it important to have a fundamental
so
level?
I've been working definitely over the past few months to simplify things as much as possible. That's always my struggle, being a huge spreadsheet nerd, is overcomplicating things. So sign up for the free plan. You can get access to like a Keyword Dominator free version. There's a PPC Dominator free version. It tries to kind of make things as simple as possible for you to kind of help you get acclimated, and then you can kind of move up from there in complexity.
I have a tip, and this is awesome. I use this quite a bit. There is a site out there called gsuitetips.com, I believe, and they go through every G Suite or now Google Workspace product, and they give you a ton of shortcuts, a ton of ways to use it. They have courses that you can take, but a lot of it is free.
Gotcha.
And like one of the things for Google Drive, for example, I want to copy, like put a prefix in front of all my folders and subfolders.
Yeah.
Takes me 2 seconds to do it. So, you can just go in there and do it. It's nice and easy. There's all sorts of things like the transfer of ownership of multiple files, very easy to do.
Yep.
Anyways, these are all free tools, and they also have training there. So if people are looking at learning a bit more too about Google Sheets, you probably learn a bit there too as well.
Cool. Yeah, for all the tools, I've pretty well laid out all the training and kind of step by step as far as what you need to click to get them set up, is for Amazon, that is. But yeah, in general for Google Sheets, there's a lot there for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Let me see. This is from Hamayan. Do we need Helium 10 to use your software?
A lot of them integrate with Helium 10, like the keyword research tools that'll use Helium 10 exports. The PPC tools do not, for the most part. So that's, as far as ROI is concerned, that's really where a lot of users get their most value. And there you don't need Helium 10.
Okay, and just a couple more questions. From Sarah, how would you use it if you're starting over with a new product?
So yeah, you definitely want to, for an example of like Keyword Dominator along with like a PPC sales velocity boost, you would go back, look at your competitors that are doing really well in your niche, try to identify some targets maybe that they're not targeting that you're highly relevant for, in combination with ones that maybe you're not ranking as well for right now, but you could. And you just have to get sales, honestly. It's as simple as that. You have to get sales on those keywords, preferably at the exact match level. And if you can do that over an extended period of time, you can work your way back up. But you definitely want to dial your listing in, make sure it's as pretty as you can make it. Main image is as pretty as you can make it. And then you have to get your sales velocity moving in the right direction. That's the biggest trick, in my opinion.
Okay, great. Let me see. And Andy's saying FBA Excel customer support is also top notch.
That's me.
So,
Me and my 3-year-old daughter. She sits on my lap a lot. A chief distraction officer.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got one last question from Howard. This is more general, but pros and cons from your experience between Helium 10 versus Jungle Scouts. Thanks. I also want to mention we do have a blog on this as well on the Lunch.
We've got a really good blog
website. It's called Helium 10 versus Jungle Scout, which is better in 2022. So you can check that out. But if you two have any comments, you can let.
I don't know, Norm. I primarily just use Helium 10, so I'm not. I know there's some cool things with Jungle Scout, but I'm not too up to speed on them at this point.
Yeah, I have been a Helium 10 user. I've got nothing, bad to say about Jungle Scout. I hear a ton of people say a lot of great things. That's why we put together that article. So if you want to get all the ins and outs, the pros and cons, it's an unbiased approach to both platforms. So check them out. They're on lunchwithnorm.com.
Yeah, and I'm just posting that now. Okay. And yeah, so check that out. Also, I think we should mention we have someone from Jungle Scout coming onto the podcast. They'll be here within, I think, in about a month.
Yeah, that's right.
So tune in for that as well. Howard says thanks. We'll check out the blog article too. And that's it for questions. So there's still a little bit of time left to sneak in your Wheel of Kelsey for today. So we're giving away 2 lifetime access accounts to FBA Excel. So just comment Wheel of Kelsey in the comment sections and you'll be added to our giveaway, which will be in just a few minutes.
Right. So before we get to the Wheel of Kelsey, Brett, how do people get a hold of you? The website, if we could just mention it again.
Yeah, just fbaexcel.io. Like I said, there's a free plan there. Once you get in the members area on the free plan, there's a Facebook group that I'm getting ready to open up. There's probably 500 or so that are actively using it that'll be in there. I know. So yeah, just come over in there and sign up and join in on the party, man.
All right. And Kelsey, why don't we give Adam Rehnquist a shout out for his course too? Let's put it in the show notes where people can check that out too. So anyways, is it that time?
I think so.
All right, let's do it.
All right. And before we get to that, we just have one more commercial from our sponsor, and we'll get into the Wheel of Kelsey. So here we go.
Meet Sellerize, our favorite suite of tools for Amazon sellers. Leverage 19 innovative tools to dominate your competition on Amazon. Get your customer reviews, rank higher, track and analyze profit in real time. Sellerize is what you need to make data-driven decisions and give your business a boost. Get a free month trial by signing up with a coupon Beard Nation. Follow the link in this episode's description and get started now.
All right. So now it is time for the Wheel of Kelsey. Here we go.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right, here we go. Wheel of Kelsey time.
Oh, by the way, Tom Hartley says that your tools helped him out immensely.
All right. Okay, so we're giving away 2 of these giveaways today. So I'm going to shuffle these up. Thank you, everyone, for entering.
Put our name in.
If you are the winner of today's giveaway, please email me, k@lunchwithnorm.com. You have about 48 hours to contact me. All right.
All right. And that's a first-time winner, by the way. Congrats.
All right, congratulations. So again, that is k@lunchwithnorm.com. And I'm going to just shuffle one more time. And let's see who the winner is.
Oh, he can't win. Oh, yeah, she can.
Jessica.
Oh, Jessica. All right, Roz.
All right, Roslyn, you are the winner. Okay, congratulations, winners. So again, k@lunchwithnorm.com. Please email me. I'll drop my email in the comment section as well. Just mention your name and I'll connect you with Brett. That's right here. Okay.
All right. So that's it. Brett.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Norm.
Yeah, no problem. We didn't hit you too hard.
Oh, no. It's great to finally meet you.
Yeah, and you too. It's great. I can't wait to use your tool. I know that we've got hopefully a few other people will go over and check out your tool. All the comments that I've seen in here that from people that are using any of your products seem to be very positive. So anyways, thank you for coming on. Hopefully we can get you back on. Say hi to Adam for me. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you, Norm.
All right. See ya. Okay, everybody. I hope you liked the episode today. I thought it was great. We're probably going to sign up for it right after sometime today. I'm sure Kelsey will do that for me because I don't do those things because I'm old and he takes care of all the technical stuff. Anyways, we are going to have on Wednesday, John Elder. He's a returning guest. People love him. Some of our most downloaded episodes are with John, and we're going to be talking about competing and winning against Amazon sellers in China. So that's going to be an interesting topic. So I can't wait to get to that. So, Boy Wonder, where are you?
All right. Yes, John Elder will be here. I also just want to shout out some of our Beard Nation members. Thank you so much for the comments and questions today. We've got Jessica Rabbit. She says, fabulous show. Michael Eastman says it's a great show. So I think everyone's very happy with today's episode. So great. Thank you so much, everyone. Also, I think I said it was Tony that was from Mississauga beginning. It was Sonia. So welcome, Sonia from Canada. She was joining us today.
Oh, from Canada too.
Yep. Mississauga, about an hour away from me.
Right beside Tony.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a large Mississauga fan base growing. But yes, thank you everyone for the comments and questions. We really do appreciate it. If you have any questions about the show, about anything at all when it comes to Amazon or e-commerce, let us know in our Facebook group. That's Lunch with Norm, Amazon, FBA, and e-commerce collective. We're also thinking of having some Q&As happening on the Facebook group too. And so those will be happening there. So check it out. We're also going to be experimenting with some Instagram lives with Norm, with some Q&As. So that's going to be fun figuring that out. And so stick around for more info on that. We also have our membership program. If you want a bit more training, Q&A sessions if you have questions about selling on Amazon.
Yeah,
This
they're not
is a program.
podcasts; they're training
Yeah.
sessions.
Yep. So that is on the website, Lunch with Norm. Just click on the membership button and you'll be able to figure it out. There's different tiers. If you just want to buy us a cup of coffee too, there's a tier for that. So thank you again, everyone. Claudia, another Canadian. We've got our Canadian squad joining us today. It's great. All right. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. So join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And thank you so much for listening in. This community is awesome. We love you, and we couldn't do it without you. Thanks a lot, and have a great week.
Lunch with Norm.